Okay, let's get into our text tab, which is largely going to determine how your dimension overall looks. I mean, the other elements can too, but the text is kind of important for placement and the way it looks. It can really shape the way a dimension looks. Um, let's get in here. Let's modify this. Go into that text tab, and what we've got are a few options. You can set your text style here. I haven't gone over how to create text styles, but if you want to, you can access text styles through here. This is not the only way. You can type in style to get to text styles or just ST. Um, and it'll bring you here to the text style editor, which I will go over eventually. So for now, I'm going to use the default standard text style. You can choose your text color, whatever you want it to be. You can choose a fill color, so that's like the background. If you choose background, what it will do is match whatever the background color is, and then any objects that are where the draw order is set to be behind the dimension, it will hide those um, objects. So, like for example, I have mine set to background just now, right? So I'm gonna draw a line like right here, and when I go do a linear dimension, it breaks that line. I didn't actually break the line. The line is still there, but the dimension is on top of it, and it has this bounding box that you can see right here. And that bounding box is the same color as the background, so it's the same black color. So it looks like a wipeout when it's really not. So that can come in handy from time to time. So we delete that. Modify. I'm going to remove that for now, just to put things back to like default. You can change your text height manually. You can change your fraction height scale. And so what the fraction height scale is right now I don't have a fraction, but I'm going to make one here. I'll drag this in, and I get a fraction. Okay. What it does is it changes the height of the text for the fraction. Because if you'll notice right now, the text is the same. The text for the fraction is the same height as the text for the whole numbers. So, and it's like that because the scale is set to 1. But I'm going to set this to 0.7, which is my preferred scale factor. And when I do that, you'll see the text get smaller as a result, which looks to me a bit more appealing. I like that. Not option, sorry. Let's go to dimension styles again. All right, modify. Back to the text tab. You can also choose to draw a frame around the text if that's visually appealing to you. Your text placement. We're gonna do. We're gonna do. So you can do your vertical placement. Right now, it's centered on the dimension line. I like to have mine above. And if you see, you can do above. You can do outside, below. I think I actually have mine set to above as my preferred. Um, and there is a difference between above and outside. Um, outside will always put it away, not necessarily just above, but away from whatever the direction of your dimension is. Um, let me try to explain that. Like if I put a linear dimension right here, and I put a linear dimension here, it's on the outside of each line. What happens is if you set that to above, did I put centered? I did. That was an accident. Above, it puts some. Oh, man, and I hate it when it does an auto update. Sometimes you gotta. I'm gonna undo this. Modify. And set my dimensions to above. Hit OK. Why do they keep going to centered? These are. Am I moving too fast and skipping things? Modify. Above. See, and they go to centered now. Well, horizontal is centered. Centered. Above. Okay. Okay. So I'm just going to hit undo a few times because I'm messing up my own tutorial here. Let's try this again. Let's do a linear dimension. Set to outside. Modify. I'm going to... Oh, I know why it's not doing it. It's because of my rotation. So right now my text alignment is always set to horizontal. And when it's set to horizontal, it's going to cut through the dimension line. It's forcing it. But the moment I change this to aligned with the dimension line, it's going to rotate it and put it on the outside. So now it's aligned with the dimension line. So again, if I go back here and set this from above to outside, it's going to force that dimension on the outside of my dimension instead of having them both on like the left side or what they consider to be above, considering the reading, like the direction of the text that it reads. So just to kind of recap on what I just did over here, I'll get to this real quick. This is the text alignment. You can have horizontal, align with the dimensions line, or this ISO standard, which is kind of similar, but you can see like on the leader, it makes kind of a difference, and like some of the other dimensions, it'll make a difference. But I typically go with align with the dimension line. My vertical placement, I usually go with just above is my thing. Horizontal, I always have extended, but you can have it at the extension line 1 or 2 or over the extension line if you want to. These are just different styles. I leave mine centered. I'm moving away from the mic here. Sorry if I sound distant. I'm like getting excited. I'm like leaning into my screen over here. It happens. And then your view direction, right to left or left to right. I'm reading right to left, not left to right. Or I'm reading left to right, not right to left. And then offset from the dim line. This controls the gap between the text and the dim line. So if I were to set this thing to a very dramatic 1 inch, it goes way away. We don't want that. So I'm just going to undo until that goes away. Okay. So, and then again there. And that is, I believe, everything in your text tab. So you got your, like the style of your text elements, your text height, your fraction height scale, your text placement, and your text alignment. The only thing you might be asking yourself is about the fractions, why I have the fraction stacked horizontally and not diagonally. I'll get to that, but it's going to be in the primary units tab. I don't know why they put it there. I kind of get it, but because they're putting with the precision and all that, but I really think that the fraction format should have been in the text tab. Personal pref. I think they should have put it there, but you can adjust that in the primary units tab, and I'll get to that when I get to that video.